So I did get
This meeting is being recorded.
well, there you go. I did have a few people ask if we could get that recorded today, that they weren't able to make it. So I'm glad those of you that are here today. And as all of you know, we've shifted on the way that we're doing our digital signing. So I just wanted to cover that today. We have two main options for signing documents digitally. You can go into Skyslope and you just DigiSign. I think the biggest advantage to that is you can use that program even if you don't have a transaction created. So if you aren't ready to create a transaction, you just need to run in and sign something real quick, you can pop into Skyslope and DigiSign and do that without creating a full transaction. The other option is to go into ZipForms and use, now they've changed their program that CAR gives to us, and it's called AuthentiSign. And so we'll be looking at both of those today. The biggest advantage to AuthentiSign is it's right from ZipForms, so you can complete your contracts in ZipForms and right from there send them out to have them signed digitally, and then they come back and populate right back into your transaction in ZipForms. So really nice when you're in a transaction. But they both work for transactions. So what was the first thing I was going to tell you guys? Again, my brain's a little foggy here. Any questions before we dive into those two programs of specifics, or you just want to dive in?
Can we practice with AuthentiSign, without doing a contract? Because that's what I want to do, is practice with it.
Absolutely. I always go into ZipForms, and I'll do it today. I just create a pretend transaction.
Okay.
I usually name it Sally Sample or something, and just come up with an address, and then you can play all around with it. You can send it to yourself to see what it looks like, when it comes to the client, and then you can sign it as if you're the client, and then it comes back to you so you see what it looks like. I think that's a great idea, so that you can get comfortable with it, know what
I just want to ask them
all those sort of things.
Hold on, Heather,
yeah.
I'm going into a veterinary thing. Or can you send us something for a film of this? I'll try to get back as soon as possible.
Yep. I'm recording it, and we'll put it up on our YouTube and send it out once we've got it. Probably it might not be till Monday, but yeah, you will get it.
Thank you.
I'm recording.
All right. Are you here with Oliver?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
All right, okay, good. Okay. All right, so we will go ahead. I'll share my screen and we will take a look at the two options here. And it is, let me make sure I've got it up.
Getting an icon on our desktop.
Oh, that's right. Eric wants to know how to get an icon. I didn't look into that yet, but I'm sure we can do it. So there's Skyslope. All right, let me pop in. Okay, can you guys now see the Skyslope dashboard?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So you received a email last week. If you haven't gone into Skyslope, you just access that email. You click on a link that says create your password, and you just create it and you'll automatically be in here.
Okay. I didn't get that. I didn't get that email.
Okay, so just email Ashley, and she'll I think for a few people it went into spam or something. So just email Ashley and she'll send that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. It was about a week and a half ago, I want to say, something like that.
Hey, Heather, it's Keely.
Hi, Keely.
I can resend that. Who was it that needed that?
Patty Markin.
Patty Markin.
Patty Markin? Okay, I'll get that over to you, okay?
And Eric Ross.
Thank you. I
right.
appreciate that.
Keely, Yvonne Berg. Yvonne Berg needs it.
Okay.
All right, Yvonne Berg needs it as well. And you guys can pop it in the chat to Keely if or just pop it in the chat if you also haven't gotten it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Keely. That's great. So Skyslope is really nice. You can go in and easily see your transactions. what I like about Skyslope is you can go in later and look at closed transactions. You can still see all the documents that are there. So if you've got, you know, somebody who asks you, hey, I've lost my home inspection, can you send me a copy? You can pop into Skyslope and get that and send it over to them. So that's really nice. Again, the benefit of, I think, of Skyslope's DigiSign program is you can use DigiSign without being in a transaction. So the first thing, if you haven't gone into Skyslope yet, that I recommend you doing is you come up here to your name. When you click on that, it's going to give you the option of My Account. Click on My Account, and this is going to let you set up a few preferences. You can put in your phone number, your address. Right here, you'll see the first page that comes up is personal information. The second thing here along the top is notifications, and you can set it up to notify you of a few events. So if you want to be notified, obviously your TC is probably going to remind you of this, but I like to get a direct notification. So 3 days before your listing expires or 3 days before it's supposed to close. There's a few different things you can do here if you want. You just have to click on them and then hit save to save that information. The other main thing I would look at here is the signature. You can come in here, and I haven't even done this yet, but you go in here and then you can put in an automated signature that will be at the bottom of any emails. So when you send something in DigiSign, it will automatically put in your signature at the bottom of the little email that goes out to people. So that's nice to just go ahead and set that up in here. Again, make sure you click save so that you don't have to do it again. So those are the few things to set up. If you ever need to change your password, that would be right here as well. So then you can access transactions and listings right here, but to use DigiSign, just click back on this Better Homes and Gardens Wine Country Group icon in the top left, click on that, and it gets you back to that main dashboard. To use digital signature, you just click here on DigiSign. And it will take 1 second. Now, if you have a transaction, you can do this from the transaction and then it comes back into the transaction. But if you aren't in the middle of a transaction that you want to use, then you just come over here to new envelope. You click on that. It gives you the option of your different transactions right now. So we've got this one live transaction, right? So I could select that it's part of this transaction, but if it's not, then you just click up here on no property. So you click on either one of those. It looks the same whether or not you're in a transaction or not. Now there is, then you add the documents. Now, because I did no property, there's no documents already in here, right? There is documents if it's in a transaction, but I said no property, so there's no documents in it. So you just upload them from your computer. You can either drag and drop, or you can go find something on your, I'm just gonna throw in a document so we have something to look at. Square footage, I always like this one for some reason. So you just upload that from your computer. You could upload multiple items. Once you've got several items in there, you can rearrange the order. So if you want, whatever to be the first one they see, and then another one, you just click here. You see how it turns into these little arrows, and then you can drag them into a different order. Excuse me. I'm just going to leave the one document here. And then once you've got all your documents, you click next. And then it allows you to add who is going to sign the document. Excuse me, if you're in a transaction, all the people in your transaction are going to pop up here. So you can just click on them and add them. If there's someone, either if you're not in the transaction or there's someone you need to add, you just click on new recipient and you can type in their information here. This is how you also add if you just want someone to receive a copy, right? If they don't have to sign anything, but you want them to receive the signed document, you would add it here. Excuse me. So once you start typing in, it's going to automatically start filling out dependent on who, what you have in your program. There's all these people you can choose from. You can actually add it in. I'm going to put in Sally Sample. She's my favorite. Have to have a email and then what the role is. Okay. You want to select a role because anything, this will help it understand where signatures need to happen. In DigiSign, you often will have to put your signature blocks in yourself, kind of manually. But if you add in who they are, then you are going to, like, here's purchaser, I'm going to put, then it's more likely to know where those signature blocks are going to need to go. If they need to sign it, you just leave type as need to sign. If you want them to receive a copy, then you would just click receive copy here and then save it. If you want to create a specific order, I'm going to go in and I'm going to change them into needing to sign, because you can see now I have 2 in needing to sign and it says who signs first. Now, if I want to change that order, you can just change it by dragging them here. You can also add a signer group, which gives you a specific who signs second. Is it going to let me? Yeah, I can move it in here. So those are a couple different ways you can do that if you want to have people sign in a specific order. All right, let's see. I'm going to take out who signs. Okay, so then once you've got it how you want it here, you just click on next. And then it's very similar to all other programs. You have, I haven't used this a ton, so you can take and put in all of the different blocks you need. So you can put a writable block, you just click on it and then click where you want it to be. And then this is who the information's for, if they're going to fill it in or not. And then you can type in any information you need there. All right.
How about who signs third if there's a third signer? Or
Then
fourth?
you can, yeah, you can just add them all into that signing, into the signing here. So if I added another recipient, I'm just going to make something up. I got to have an email here. I'm going to run out of emails. You have to choose the purchaser. There you go. So you can see then there's my third person here, and I can change the order still, however you want it to be. Does that answer your question, Eric?
Yeah, except that I think in the description, it says that they all sign first. So how do you
Oh, so
decide
they're
when-
all in the same. So you want to do, yes. So you can add in multiple signing groups. Just click add signer group. And then you
Yeah.
say, okay, Sally's going to sign third. And this, not a word, is going to sign fourth. See how that works?
Got it, thanks.
Yeah, you bet. All right. And well, this is all, it's all wonky now because I changed it. Okay, let me get it back to where we can move on. There we go. If you ever can't move on like me, it's because you've got a signer group that there was no one attached to, right? So right now, you see who signed second. My next button is grayed out. So I can't do anything until I put someone in that signer group or I delete it. I just check the Xbox. So if it's ever grayed out, there's probably something like that going on, that you've got, you know, just it doesn't like you. It doesn't like the way you got it set up. You have to shift something a little bit. All right, so you've got all these automatic boxes. You can add a checkbox. You can add in their full name. Again, if you add full name, I'm just going to show you a sample. Then you can go down to each of the people and change it to their name. You can add in their initials wherever you'd like. Whatever initials or signature. Now you'll notice here's a little checkbox with required. If they don't have to do it, right, like on the liquidated damages clause or the, it's going the wrong way, or the part where they mediation, the arbitration clause that they don't have to sign, you can uncheck, and then it's not a required signature. Often I have found that clients miss that if you have it not required. So I more often will talk to them first about it, whether or not they want to do the liquidated damages clause. And then I will make it a required field if they've already told me they want to go ahead and sign that. Otherwise, you can make it non-required. So that is really, you just add in your signatures. Pretty straightforward here. Once you've got it all set up the way you want it to be. Okay. Now you'll notice right now my send button is gray again, and that is probably because I haven't added a field for one of the people. You have to have a field for each signer. So now I just added all three. And now let's go look. Yep. Now I can send it. So if you've ever added a recipient, but then you don't have a place for them to do anything, it won't let you send the document. It's a little different than, I think DocuSign would still let you sign it, send it. But then you just click send, and it gives you an email here that you can go ahead and, you know, please sign whatever you'd like to tell them to do. And then you click send for signatures.
Heather, I had a question about the writable feature.
Yes.
I needed to add a new price, so I needed to write it in somewhere. And so I set it up so that I needed to write it in there. And so I wrote it in there, but then it showed up twice.
Okay.
If you want to if you want to add a sentence somewhere, how do you do that? Because I did it, but it showed up twice, and that surprised me.
So I don't know why it would show up twice. I would have to play with it a little bit, because it should be, like you can see, here's my writable, and I've got it in there. It shouldn't show up a second time unless there's a second, unless it's written as, you know, unless there's a second writable section. I would have to look at that.
I think sometimes if you click on something by mistake, it'll put an extra box there that you weren't expecting.
Definitely, right? So like it still thinks I'm adding writable. So if I just accidentally click here, it could definitely add an extra spot. And it's exactly the same as the other three. That could be it. Yeah. Okay, so that is how you do. Any other questions on this one? I, again, really like this, mostly when I'm not in a transaction. I like the ZipForms one better when I'm in a transaction. It's got a little bit more to it, but you can't use it when you're not in a transaction. So, all right, well, if there's...
I'm sorry, I got kicked out for a second and I missed the part about setting up your signature. When I went in to set up my signature a few days ago, I couldn't figure it out. Could you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So you click right here on your name, you go into my account.
Yeah.
And then right here is signature. Do you see that?
Right.
And then you just put it in here and click save.
But how do you put it in there? Because
if
you don't have if you don't have a touch screen.
If you don't have a what?
Touch screen.
You should be able to just type. Yeah, you can just type it in.
You can just type. Oh, for some reason I tried typing and it wasn't taking my typing, but maybe I didn't do it right.
Well, yeah, and one of my signatures is like, it's actually an image, and there's no way to put that in, which is a bummer. But
oh, you can't cut and paste an image in.
I was not able to.
Okay.
Yeah, and there could be a way. Foreground. Yeah, I don't see any way to do that.
Okay.
And so the signature block is a typed field, not a real written signature.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
It'll probably do what DocuSign did and give you some options when you actually go to sign, maybe.
Right, and you may be able to put in like HTML code in here. I have not tried it yet. Often you can just, even when you can't put in an image, you can put in the HTML code and then it will work from that. But I have not tried it yet.
This signature is like the signature that you use on your emails, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So it'll automatically come up. So when you send something for someone to sign,
Mm-hmm.
and you send that little email to them, it'll automatically come up at the bottom of it. So you can put
Okay,
in your
great. So it's
license
not-
number, your phone number and everything. So you don't have to type it each time.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Okay. Well, if everyone seems like they've got that, whoops. I will go ahead and head on over to, if I can see it here, ZipForms. All right. Okay, I now have ZipForms up. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. I think I've learned how to make it switch better. Okay, so now in ZipForms, the program is now called AuthentiSign that you can use there, and you can access it a couple of different ways. This is the ZipForms dashboard. Right on here is new e-sign, right on the top left. Something I like about this program is it does tell you right here on your dashboard if you have e-signings in progress, something that hasn't gone all the way through. You can also go into a transaction to access your specific transaction documents and then do e-sign from there. So I'm going to pop into, here's a little fake one I have. So I think Patty, were you talking about kind of trying it out? That's what I do. I just create a fake transaction, which this 1233 Main Street is just a pretend transaction.
Mm-hmm.
In here, up on the top left, you'll see the new e-sign button. You click on that and you can do it from documents as well. So let me actually do that. So you go into documents and the e-sign is there as well. All right, so you just click on that, send. You can choose to send to new AuthentiSign. And this allows you to choose a folder. So right now, the signed documents will go back into your main folder for that transaction. But if you like to divide your transactions up by other folders, you can choose a folder. So like what I'll often do is create, and I haven't on this one, but create a folder for, oh, I have signed documents. So I have my working documents folder and it's stuff that I haven't filled out completely yet, and then signed documents. So if you want, you can send it back to that folder. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I like it to be all the signed ones in one place and the incomplete ones somewhere else. All right, so then I do create. This is creating the signing packet. Now, all right, so you have a few options here. When you first come into this, it's pretty nice. It's going to give you a few little pop-ups if you haven't used AuthentiSign in here yet. It'll give you some pop-ups kind of walking you through the program, you know, like all new programs do, which is nice. You can kind of just get a little reminder. But to give you a little bit of an overview about it, you can click right on here to add a document or form. You can also go over on the right is kind of your main area, your main navigation. There's your signers. This is where you add everybody that's going to sign the documents. This is where you access the transaction documents, the docs. Tools is where you get into actually adding the signatures, and layouts. What does layouts do? Well, we'll pop in. I don't remember.
Where's the tools?
What's that?
Where is the tools? I don't see that.
It's on the right-hand side, just under
Oh,
documents.
that's where everybody's pictures are. Okay.
Oh yeah. You can click on the picture and drag it over if it's in your way. I dragged it down to the bottom because I had the same thing.
You can just minimize the
Okay.
pictures.
What's that?
You can just minimize the pictures and then.
Yep, you can also minimize the pictures. Yep. Yeah. Good. Okay. So the first thing I usually do is add documents. It's kind of set up to add signers first, but it's up to you how you want to do it. If you click, sorry, I didn't say that. If you click right here on add document or form, then it brings up your transaction and all the documents that are already in that transaction. And then you just click on add that document and it will add it to there it will add it for you. I'm going to add a couple things just to give some things in there for us to work with. You can also click here on upload import. So if there's a document that you didn't put in your transaction yet, maybe you're like, oh, I got to do the square foot advisory. You can upload it and add it right here. You just add document from, go to your computer or Google Drive and upload from there. But the My Transaction will have everything that's already in your transaction. Once you're done, click the X at the top right. And then we go to the top right, the signers, which some of you can't see. Click on signers and you're going to add your participants. Now it's really important that you map your signers. So let me show you this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add myself. I am going to be a remote signer. If you're adding a new contact, always save it to your contact list so that they show up later. Yes, let's see. Cherie, did you have a question?
Hi, I just wanted to ask, is everything that was previously done on the other system with DocuSign going to be migrated over from like past transactions of contracts?
No. If it was in a transaction, that will come over into Skyslope from the program we used to use, but not from DocuSign. So just the signed documents that were in there will not be coming over.
Okay, what about Digi Inc?
You know, I don't know about that one.
Okay, I think I was
Yeah.
using that because of when I started, I just had that option.
Sure. So those should have been in your ZipForms somewhere in a transaction. So those should still be in ZipForms.
Still be there. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so once you add someone, then you're going to click save. And it's going to pop up this set signing layout mappings. So now you've got to make sure that, okay, I just did me. Now I need to make sure that I have them signed up. I already have myself signed up as this, but if you had just added a buyer or a seller, then you want to actually go in here and say, okay, the seller is such and such a name, the buyer is such and such a name. I only have me so far, so we'll do this. Let me add another participant so you can see how that works. So then you click add
Heather,
participant.
Excuse
And-
me, Heather.
Yeah.
You left yourself as ignore.
So so let me show you that again. So
Okay.
that was asking for buyer 1, 2, buyer and seller 1, 2, which I'm not any of those.
Oh, okay.
That's why those are all ignore. Once I add more participants, which I'll do right now, you can assign them. So I'm going
Okay.
to add participants from my contacts. I'm just going to add some random people here. Well, maybe I'll do, hopefully I can do. All right, so I added them. I'm going to select. I don't want anyone to actually get an email.
No.
Okay, so I added 2 more signers. Now you can see when I go to this layout mappings and I go to buyer 1, it gives me all those options.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say, okay, they're my buyer and my buyer 2.
I got it. Thank you.
If there's a buyer 3, I have no idea how to deal with that. I'll have to figure it out. All right, but so once you've got them assigned, you click assign signature blocks, and then it's going to automatically put, you can see right here, here's some initials, right? It automatically put those people in those buyer spots.
Okay.
So that's why you want to make sure you assign the map the signers is what they call it.
The date signed is an autofill then?
What's that?
The date signed will automatically be filled in?
Yes. Yeah, you can see that right here. Yep, exactly. And you can see there's a little exclamation right here. It's because I chose participants that had no email. So this is telling me you can click on it and they're saying, no, you can't do this because there's no email, right? So go back to signers. So you would need to fix that before you send it off. Okay, so that is how to assign your participants to their specific signing blocks. Now, if you have a document that isn't completely filled out, or you need to add something for any reason, you go here to tools. Tools gives you all these options. Kind of cool. You can add this little sign here. Block if you want to add in a signing. And it does give you the little arrow, I believe, when they see it. If you want them to initial all the pages of a document, so maybe you've got the home inspection and you want them to initial every page of it, you can add initial pages and you can have it which of the documents you want. I want them to initial every page of the contingency removal, or you can just say I want them to initial pages, 4 through 7. So that's really nice. You don't have to go and add those individually. Let's see, you can just do one initials block as well, and then move that to where you need it. You can click and then it will add it wherever you need it. You can add in a checkbox. Those are always nice. You can have it required or not. In any of these, you can assign it to different people. Nope, I want to do that checkbox. These initials, I forgot to change. That's going to be Donald. There you go, right? You can always change things like that.
Heather, can you talk about checkboxes for a second? If you put a checkbox, does that mean it's an optional field for that person, or does that automatically check it?
So if it's required, so I just clicked on the checkbox that I put in there. You can see here checkbox group. Right now it's required, so it's automatically checked. If I undo it, then it can be, then they have to fill it in. So if you don't have it required, they would fill it in. If you want it automatically checked, then you hit required.
Okay, so if it's not required, it's optional. The client can either check or not check it.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Usually if I'm doing a checkbox, it's required, but there might be an instance where it wouldn't be. Yeah, perfect. Then there's these below the green boxes is some signer fields. So if you need to add in their full name, I thought I clicked full name. There it is, full name. You can do it where it automatically adds the time. And then here's a couple of cool things you can do. You can add a text box and type in anything you want, right? You can add in today is the day, right? So if you had to add an address, or you're going to add in you forgot to add some terms you want included, you just add it that way and you can move it around. You can even change the font size and how big it is and what color it is, all sorts of things.
Heather, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you're adding text, you're on your signature page when you add that text, or?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Do you have to be on a specific person's page to add a text? Like, since you're fixing a contract, does it have to be done by Elaine, or are you able to do it?
Oh, no, you do it. You'll do it. So you can see right here is all the signing tools. It is under Elaine, but well, let's see. Let me just put all signers. You can add a text box and you are actually, where did it put it? It's a little funny. It says Elaine still.
I know, that's what's confusing me.
That's weird. But okay, that must be it. Let me try again.
Wouldn't you go from your name from Heather to add
Yeah,
to a
that's what I
contract?
would do for sure, but I was just wondering if I add. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what I did is all signers. Let me just delete that. It's fine to have it on any or on all signers, and then you just click on text box and then you click where you want it. And then it's not assigned to any person because you're going to input the information right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me put back to myself. So a few other, so you can see I didn't enter any text. I'm going to say it's number 101. You can draw a line. So if there's information that you want to get out of there, you just click on line, you click. Okay, now it's not working. There we go. Now it's clicked on. And then you can just draw a line right through something you don't want there. You can
But
also do it.
you can't erase it. You can just put a line through it.
If it's something you've put in this program, you can just delete it. But if it's something that was put in ZipForms,
Yeah.
and then now you're in the Authenticsign program, you cannot erase anything that was put in before it came into Authenticsign.
Okay. You can just line through it and then add text to make the change.
So then you
Okay.
just do, yep, text box, put it
How
here.
did you make it
put the
red?
correct address, say. Exactly.
Heather, how did you make it red?
Oh, that's a great question. I didn't do anything to make it red. Let's see if it's always red. It's red there. Yeah, it looks like it's just red, but when I did it earlier, it was black. So I have no idea. Let's see if we go into text box, if that'll let us change it. No. I'm just playing with it. No, it looks like right now it's just red, but I think when I did it earlier, it was black. So I don't know.
Yeah, the highlight should come out yellow, correct?
Yeah, so when you click on highlight, then you can highlight something, and yes, it comes out yellow. It's not a huge, but yeah, you can highlight spaces, and you can kind of bring it up or down. See how I'm doing that? So you can make it thicker and longer. So however you want to work that. This is kind of a cool thing too, is this ellipse. You can actually do a little circle. So if you want to show, okay, you know, kind of highlight something to someone, you can add that in there. Buyer
Okay,
request to seller.
How do you get rid of it once you've done that, or you can't?
You just, let's see. You just click on it, like right on the line, and then hit delete.
Okay.
Yep.
And
And
legally, is it okay to use red to cross that out legally, or?
That would be a Gary question. Anybody know?
Nope.
I don't think it'd be a problem.
Okay, just need to know how to do it then.
I would think
Right.
that I would think that anybody, when you're doing things with the document, if you put things in and take them out, why wouldn't that be legal? You put them in to begin with, but anything from before, then not.
Well, you don't want to modify an existing signed document.
Yes, definitely not. You can't do it if it's already been signed, but when you're creating it and sending it for signatures, I don't see a reason
Okay.
that red would be a problem. You know, they would probably go back to what the intent was, right? The intent was to strike that from the document and put in the correct information. So I think it would be fine, but we could ask our attorneys.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay, then the last thing on here is there is a freehand. I don't think I would probably use this because I am not that neat, but you can do whatever you want. You can add in things. You can do a circle or, you know, an arrow, something like that. So there is that option. All right, let's pop over to layouts. Layout, I've not used this. Oh, okay, I guess this is so you can create, if you have a odd document, but you have it signed regularly, you can create a layout so that you automatically, like say our square footed, something that comes from Better Homes and Gardens or is not in ZipForms, you can create a layout to always have a signature block go in a certain place. I'm probably not going to do that. This seems like too much work, but if somebody wants to know how to do that, I can get you a resource for it.
Okay,
Uh,
Heather, are you gonna find out how if you've got, say, 3 or 4 parties that need to sign, since you only have the option of 2, how we do that?
Yeah, I'm assuming that you would need to add in the additional, there's a document for that, right? And there would be, but yeah, I will look into that.
Okay,
More
thank
than
you.
2 signers. I will look into that and let you guys
Isn't
know.
there an additional signer addendum? That's what
There
I.
is, exactly. But this program doesn't seem to give us the ability to add a 3rd or 4th signer, which you would need to sign that document. So I will
Yep.
look into it.
Thank you, Heather.
You bet. There are some options in here to change things, expiration dates. The expiration date, like you can say how long you want this packet to be out there to be able to be signed. You can also, the thing I like about it is you can set it up. So I went over to options. Sorry if I forgot to say that. Go into options, then there's this reminder. So you can set it to automatically remind your clients to sign it. So if they don't sign it after maybe 3 days, you can have this automatically go out to them again until they sign it every 3 days. So that's kind of a nice thing if you have someone that tends to not pay attention. So otherwise, once you've got it all set up the way you want, look at that crazy document I've got there. You just click next. Oh, and it's not going to let me actually send it because not everybody has an email. So let's see if I can just remove them. I'd like to remove them from signing. So I'm just going to remove these people so that we can actually send it. So you click next, and then it processes it. And then it asks you to finalize your signing setup. If you want it to expire, you can change the date here. It's nice because it asks you again to send, if you want it to send a reminder, and then you just click send.
So will it have the Better Homes and Gardens, logo like we had in DocuSign when it gets to the party you're sending it to?
Once I get that, I'll take a look. I don't know.
Okay.
It's got our business. I doubt it because this is going through CAR. So
Right.
it probably doesn't have our logo. Unfortunately, you could add that in your email signature maybe. But
Yeah,
again,
no, it's just, it stood out. So people really saw it when it went to their email.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the subject line? Well, you haven't
You put
seen
that
the
in.
email yet.
You put in what you wanted to say. So you probably want to come up with something that's going to stand out, important documents to sign or what have you.
Oh, so where did we have the option of doing that?
It didn't give me that. I bet that's over here in options. Let's see. Change signatures. That's a great question, Patty. I've only used this a couple times. Change signature. Oh gosh, what have I got here?
Yeah, because we don't want
details.
it to go to spam.
Yeah. Huh. I don't see how to do that. Has anybody used this and knows how to add in that email?
No, but doesn't in in DocuSign, it would always put something in that subject line for you. I think that right before you got ready to send it, it would show a subject line, and if you wanted to, you could change it, but usually I never did. I just sent it because it said something about documents to sign.
Right.
Yeah, I know, and this may not have any of that.
I imagine it has something, especially since, let me look and see if I can see if I've gotten the email yet to sign it that I just sent. I don't remember which email I said to send it to.
Used.
It was your Sonic email you had on there, I noticed.
I have like 8 of those, so I don't see it.
Sorry. Sounds like me.
That's not what I need to do. Yeah, it looks like it hasn't come over yet. So I will look into that as well and find out, because it's got to say something. Like you said, DocuSign had just sort of a real generic, but at least it said, documents to sign. So I'm sure it has something like that. All right. Any other questions or anything I can help with?
Oh, Heather, which one, this is Liz, which one do you think that's going to be I mean, I love DocuSign, so I'm sort of disappointed that we're having to relearn this, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is they have a lot of similarities. So it's not like relearning something brand new. I prefer AuthentiSign because I like to do it straight from ZipForms.
Me too.
And I find it really, it has a little more functionality, but there are times that I use DigiSign because I'll need something signed that's not yet part of a transaction.
Oh, I see. I see. So the Skyslope, but now Skyslope isn't that what our transaction coordinator's using?
Yes. Yep.
So they'll be using that. So if we use the AuthentiSign or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the ZipForms one.
Yeah, the ZipForm one. Isn't it going to be if our transaction coordinators are using Skyslope, isn't that going to be sort of confusing to the consumer, to our clients? I mean, because I usually have a lot of the boilerplate documents. I have Katie, our TC.
So I would check in with your TC and decide what you want to do with that. Like I was talking to Chris and he's going to try using AuthentiSign, however you say it, more because just because it does put those signature blocks and it has a little more functionality. But yeah, it might be confusing. Absolutely. I prefer the ZipForms ones. That's what I'm going to be using more. And I'm hoping my TC will use it more because it I think it's a nicer, they're both good programs.
Right.
I just feel like it has a little more functionality.
The Skyslope, we'd have to create in ZipForms and then upload to Skyslope, right? It doesn't automatically go. No.
Yes. So what I would do is just make sure your TC is getting a copy of any documents you have signed. It's just like in when you created a document in ZipForms, right? Then you still would have to bring it over to DigiSign to DigiSign.
Or to yeah. I mean, there were documents that came in in PDF form and I uploaded to the DocuSign platform. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we're all going to just have to play around with it a little bit. And there may be, some more benefits of each one that I don't know yet. So
okay. Well, so we'll just really have to practice this.
Yeah, I would say go in and play with them. Like I said, I think Patty was suggesting go in and create a couple fake ones and try them out and see what it looks like when you receive it as the consumer. I mean, I think most consumers or a lot of consumers are pretty savvy right now that whatever program they get there, it's pretty consumer centric, right? It's pretty,
it's pretty friendly. They get it.
Yeah. So hopefully that won't be a big issue, but
we can always just tell our clients to expect that there might be a couple different programs that they'll get documents in, so it's not confusing.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would let them know that, I always let them know we have a TC and documents.
She sends that letter too. She can maybe add in that letter that, that they might get it from a couple different sources or something.
Yeah. And I might ask Katie to go over DigiSign a little more if she knows more, more benefits of it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You bet. Good luck, you guys. I hope it goes well for everyone. And I'm always, what's that?
Heather, I had a question. Eric here.
Yeah.
In the past, I've created a document in ZipForms, saved it as a PDF to desktop, and then DocuSigned it out of there. Can I still, is DigiSign an option directly from ZipForms?
I don't believe so. I think you have to bring it over from ZipForms, download it, and put it into DigiSign.
As I did before with DocuSign.
Yeah.
Or the other option is there's the program in ZipForms, the electronic, what you just covered.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So either we try
So-
to deal with that new program or take it to the desktop and DigiSign it.
Yep. Yep. And the thing is like if you download it and you have forgotten to fill anything out, then you have to add it over in DigiSign. Right. Whereas in ZipForms, it's all right in there. So yeah.
Yep. So much fun.
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. It's just to
Lord.
figure out how we want to best make it work. If you guys are ever stuck, if I'm at my computer, I'm always happy to walk you through stuff or pull it up. We can do a Zoom one-on-one and walk through a few things. So, I know technology can get a little frustrating. So
Yeah.
we'll,
At this point, if we just want to go to Skyslope, what is the easiest direct way? Obviously, I'd love an icon on my desktop.
oh, that's right. That's right. And I have not tried to do that. Let me do that. If people want to, you guys, if you want to take off, go for it. Otherwise, let's see if we can figure that out. Where is Skyslope?
So otherwise, we just go to the Skyslope on, through our Google or whatever.
Skyslope.
go to
Uh-huh.
Skyslope.com and then we enter it through there. But yeah, if it were on our desktop, it would save us a couple steps.
Right. Let's see.
Well, the good news is though, that we have access now to our transactions in Skyslope like we used to in the olden days, because this last program we had, we could never see our transactions.
Yep.
Right,
I'm
so-
really happy about
so
that.
that-
And
I
you
mean, to
can,
me, that's the benefit, is that we could go in and actually look at everything that's
yeah.
going
are
on.
they-
And you can split documents really easily in Skyslope. That was the one thing I missed when we got rid of it.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. That's right. Yeah, you can really easily split. Like if somebody sends you one document with 7 different contracts in it, you can split them up in in Skyslope much more easily. All right. Eric, I don't off the top of my head know how to do that. I'm going to write myself a note I can go over that next week. Skyslope icon. All right, yeah, because I don't see it as a quick, easy solution. So any other questions or anybody have any comments or anything they want?
Curtis just put something in there about how to put that on your desktop.
Oh, there you go. Go to File Explorer, the SS folder, and right mouse click on the ss.exe file.
I don't know what that means, but whatever.
Yeah,
There you
and
go.
that's only
Eric,
if you,
Copy
that's
and
only if
paste
you
that.
use Windows, right? I mean, if you use Microsoft,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I use Google for everything, so that wouldn't work for me anyway.
Mm.
Well, it's not that hard to go into the
Yeah.
program.
Well, no, it tries to take your computer over. It's the problem with Microsoft, for me anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, for Windows.
Keely, are you still there? Oh, nope, she's gone. All right. So if those of you, there's a couple people that asked Keely to resend her that. She did leave at some point, so you might want to email her if you don't get that soon. The Skyslope link. All right.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate
You bet.
your
And
help.
somebody mentioned in the chat filling out the TDS and the SPQ in here, and I'm going to put that to do a future training on that because because there's a lot of non-required fields in the TDS and SPQ, so there's good ways to do that. I mean, I really like the Glide program, but I know there's a good way to do that in here as well, so I will have that on an upcoming training.
Thanks.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
Guys, have a good one.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Ah.